So a few days ago, I made a video talking about the pink sauce lady, the whole Dragon Ball Z saga, the pink sauce arc, if you will, and how she finally made a response detailing the whole situation and how she was done wrong by Dave's Gourmet, which in reality isn't really the truth. Now, in that same video, I did also mention that Dave's Gourmet did reply back and they detailed sort of like a timeline, if you will, what happened with the money and the fact that she was paid $120,000, but there wasn't really like an intricate breakdown, if you will. There wasn't really any nitty gritty information. And so I never really covered it that much in that video. I just kind of went over Chef P's response. But the reason I'm making this video is I just came across information that actually had a breakdown timeline of how she got the money, how much she was given, why she was given it. It's just wild when I read the entire situation, and I just wanted to share it with all y'all because I feel like y'all deserve to know. We've been on this ride together. Ever since last year when I first started this channel back in July, I have covered pink sauce pretty much every single step of the way. And it's only right that I show y'all this as well too, so that you are in the know of what's going on. So what you're looking at right now is the official statement from Dave's Gourmet themselves on their own website. They say, you know what? We're tired of this bullshit. You have talked so much trash about us, Chef P, that we now have to give out a full timeline, expose the entire partnership with you, and put you on blast for all the lies and misinformation that you keep spreading. This whole article is just full of bombshells, one after another, just pretty much showing that Chef P cannot be trusted. For everyone who actually gave her money in your GoFundMe, I would highly recommend that you get it back because it's definitely not worth it. But you know what? Let's go through this article from Dave's Gourmet. I'm not going to go through all of it, but I will highlight the very good, interesting parts that I think you want to know. So the article starts off by saying in August 2022, Dave's Gourmet signed an agreement with Chef P, and in which Chef P was responsible for promoting pink sauce through the digital content requirement to post about pink sauce on social media at least 3 times a week. And Dave's Gourmet was in charge of achieving the required shelf stability for the product, making the formula acceptable for commercial production, and following FDA's food production guidelines, productions, and sales of the pink sauce product online into retailers, aka pretty much what I said in the last video. Dave's Gourmet was the one that handles all the production for the actual product and making sure getting it into the shelves itself. But as far as marketing went, that was on Chef P. She handled that portion, which she's complaining that Dave's Gourmet did not want to cover. Dog, they were already covering this shit for you, the whole manufacturing part, the part that you fucked up immensely and why you should have never gotten this deal to begin with. But you know what? Let bygones be bygones. It already happened. So this paragraph pretty much just details what we already knew. Her product wasn't actually up to FDA standards, and she was told by the FDA to stop making her product because it wasn't safe for consumption, and the way that she was selling it was no bueno. It was not good. But there is one little highlight right here, which said, according to the agreement that she made with Dave's Gourmet, it says Chef P received an upfront payment $45,000 as a part of an agreement for Dave's Gourmet to pursue the sales of pink sauce. You have fucking $45,000, Chef P, and you blew it all. You blew it all in a year. How? $45,000 could easily set you for a good second if you're smart on how to spend your money. But no, no sir. She had to sit there and go start her GoFundMe because somehow she was going broke pretty much a couple months in, which I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let me just go back to the article. According to the agreement, Shaw was responsible for all the refunds for the product that predated the agreement. After the agreement was signed, we learned that neither Shaw nor her entities had enough funds to cover all the refunds to the people who never received a product that she was responsible for, according to the agreement. There was a hold put by Shopify and PayPal on most of the cash in Shaw's account due to multiple customer complaints, and even the cash that was there was mostly not available to pay refunds. Dave's Gourmet couldn't see the customers disappointed with no product and no refund, so it provided approximately $30,000 to cover the refunds. Even though this was Shaw's responsibility, some of the funds came back to Dave's Gourmet later in the year after the hold on Shaw's account was lifted by PayPal and Shopify. This company's a saint. They did her a favor. Like, first of all, I mean, realistically, let's be real. They should never sign this agreement with her to begin with, but they're doing so many good things for her. They gave her upfront of $45,000. Then they gave her another $30,000 to refund the customers, to people who didn't get any product or weren't satisfied. Like, how? This is like a golden ghost. You got a golden egg put in front of you and you just fucked it up and threw it away. You said, fuck this dog. I don't want this shit. Like, how do you fumble the bag so hard. So many people would die to have an opportunity like this, but she just throws it away. I can't wrap my mind around this. According to the agreement, Shaw receives royalties that depend on the gross profit that the company makes on the sales of pink sauce, and there is a milestone payment if certain goals are met. The royalty payments are based on gross profit because at the time we did not know what the pink sauce product would cost, given that it contains expensive ingredients like dragon fruit that needed to be factored in. When we negotiated this agreement, we walked Shaw and her attorney through the difference between sales and gross profit to make sure that everyone is on the same page. All agreements have been communicated and paid on time in accordance with the agreement. Dave's Gourmet also advised Shaw that pink sauce royalties should not be her only source of income, as they can fluctuate, and she should have a regular job to make sure that she has financial stability. At the time, Dave's Gourmet did not know any sales would be generated from pink sauce. And the reason why, in case you're wondering, is because typically something like this, it's like it's not really the good lightning in a bottle, but it's lightning in a bottle nonetheless. But all the hype died down. By the time they actually were able to get FDA approved, get it all actually under control, and then get put out in the stores, nobody cares about pink sauce no more. She already tarnished the brand. Any goodwill that was left with that brand and company, no one gave a fuck no more. So no one was going to really waste their time to go buy it, except for like diehard fans who just didn't care at all. It was like, man, who cares? She's doing good shit out there. We need to go support her. Those are the only people that were buying it. And the reason I know is because it's detailed later in this article. You can't make this up, man. In the fall of 2022, Shaw was struggling financially. Dave's Gourmet decided to be helpful, and over the course of several months, provided Shaw with multiple cash advances that totaled more than $40,000 without charging Shaw interest or fees. These advances were supposed to be offset by the future royalties that Shaw was going to earn. So here's a timeline, all right? She originally got $45,000 at the beginning of this timeline of the agreement that she had, and then she got another set of advances that total up to over $40,000. Dog, that's $85,000. Where are you spending all this money? What's going on with this? How are you losing it? And then what's even worse is in March 2023, Shaw communicated that she had spent the entirety of all her previous advances and that she needed another advance to feed her children and avoid being evicted. What the fuck are you doing with your money? $85,000, dog. I could survive for a fucking 3 years easy with that money. What are you doing with it? Even if you got kids, even when you say you got kids, right? There's no universe where $85,000 couldn't cover you, your kids, and living. No shot, man. That's wild reading this. It's one thing to get a bunch of money and, I guess be inexperienced, right? Oh my God, I never had so much money. So, it's a little bit crazy. I might treat myself a little bit. It's different to treat yourself on a one-time thing. But treating yourself and using all $85,000 and thinking that for a company that's being disgenerous, this is taking advantage of a company. This is a company who should have never given you a deal, should have never given you advances, giving you a fuckload of money to help you out because they felt bad for you. They felt sorry for you. They gave you $30,000 on top of that to refund your customers. This is a company that has gone the extra mile, has done so much to put you in a good light. Now, of course, we can always say allegedly, right? Assuming that this is all true and that Dave's Gourmet is not lying. But on my hand, I don't think they have any reason to lie, because when you listen to everything Chef P has said up to this point, there's no universe where anybody's going to believe what the fuck she has said at all. There's no reason to. Dave's Gourmet sent her 2 advances that total $5,000, but again encouraged her to continue working her other job and pursue her private chef career as she had been doing prior to partnering to commercially produce pink sauce. And this is something I have brought up multiple times in other videos, but I always wonder that. What happened to her little private chef job? She's saying, I was struggling, I don't have no money. You used to be a chef. Weren't you a private chef? Dave's Gourmet clearly said it right here too. You're a private chef. You were doing this before pink sauce even took off. How the fuck did you just go broke? You just quit doing that? Wait, you just not a chef no more? Well, granted, hey, her reputation's gone. I'm not gonna lie. After the whole pink sauce debacle, I don't know anyone that's gonna want to hire her as a private chef anymore. I wouldn't trust her with my life. So I guess that's maybe why she hasn't been popping off as a private chef no more. But realistically, that's what the logical answer would be. You're a private chef before pink sauce popped off. If you have the skills, you got the talent, then why aren't you just doing that? You should still be having a pretty decent amount of money coming from that, and so that you could fund your money and still have some form of income coming in. But it looks like she never did that at all. Shaw wanted to know more about activities related to pink sauce at Dave's Gourmet. In the beginning of 2023, the Dave's Gourmet team set up a weekly stand-in meeting to discuss the brand strategy and collaborate with Shaw. Shaw attended only a couple of those meetings and has not been in attendance since. Shocker. Color me surprised. person that has never ran their brand properly at all, doesn't want to attend actual professional meetings with the accordance to try and actually make money. She just wants it to just come rain down from God himself and just shower her with money for no effort put in at all. In February 2023, Shaw requested over $10,000 in marketing expenses to throw herself a birthday party, and also asked Dave's Gourmet to pay for her dress that cost more than $800 and shoes which cost over $600 that would potentially keyword to be used in a TikTok video. Dave's Gourmet suggested a smaller budget, and because Dave's Gourmet would not approve these expenses, Shaw distanced herself from Dave's Gourmet collaborative marketing efforts. You see where all this is going? Pink Sauce Lady, Chef P, is a fool. Is an absolute goddamn fool. There is no universe where she deserves to have any money thrown her way. And to this day, I'm still upset that Kyrie Irving donated money to her, especially to 24,000 plus. Never should have done that. You're a fool as well too, Kyrie. I know he's never going to see this video, but that's fool moves right there. I call that foolish moves. So now it looks like we know what Chef P was talking about in her video, where she said they were not going to cover her marketing expenses. And we know why, because she's out of her goddamn mind.
This is an innovative brand. This is an innovative product, which comes with risk, which means that money has to be allocated and put into marketing. The marketing is the company. They did not do that, which caused me to suffer drastically.
$10,000 to throw a birthday party and then an $800 plus dress. For what reason? There was no logical reason on why you would need that for marketing, especially if the whole idea was really just to fund your birthday party. Especially on top of that, when you somehow can't even manage money, when up to this point you've already had over $80,000 and lost it all. Why would anyone ever want to give you money at all to cover marketing and give you money just in general? Because they know you're just going to lose it. All right. There's no reason to help you out. In May 2023, due to the large advances on Shaw's royalty payments and the deduction of refunds covered by Dave's Gourmet related to the period prior to this agreement, the balance of milestone royalty payments owed to Shaw came to $666.86. Dave's Gourmet decided to hold off on deducting $10,000 in advances from the royalties due until a later period so that Shaw would have more funds to cover her needs at the time, and instead pay Shaw $10,666.68. This company is so generous, and hey, if y'all are watching this, can y'all give me some money? I probably won't be able to pay it back in YouTube royalties, but hey, if you're giving out some cash, then I mean, hey, Chef P won't make use of it, but hey, me, I can do something with it. I can make some great videos with that. Hey, hit me up, Dave's Gourmet. Maybe we could do something. Let me know. You got my email. You already messaged me once. In June 2023, Shaw submitted an expense report to Dave's Gourmet that included a request for payment for her time dedicated to making social media content since October 2022, 1,400 hours at $90 per hour in Shaw's invoice. Such request was outside of the terms of agreement, as Shaw's compensation per the agreement was through royalties, and there was no provision to compensate her on a per hour basis. Dave's Gourmet asked for clarifications related to the various other expenses listed by Shaw in the invoice, but backups, receipts, and explanations were not provided. Shocker. Shaw informed Dave's Gourmet that she did not need to provide us with receipts or explanations to get reimbursed. Dave's Gourmet reminded Shaw that business expenses need to be pre-approved by Dave's Gourmet, aka teaching her how a business works. You do not sit there and just come up with false business charges and say, hey, I said I did it. I told you I did it. Why don't you believe me? Receipts? Why do I need to give you that? Don't you take my word for it? Why would I lie to you? Yeah, she's getting hit with the cold water and facing reality that the way that she thinks businesses work is not really how it does work. Anytime that you have a business expense, you have a receipt that goes along with it, because when that IRS, that tax company, comes and they say, hey, we want to verify that these business expenses that are going on when you do your taxes, because for those that do not know, when you file your taxes, you can do claims of business expenses. And so if you claim that you had all these things done, guess what? They're going to want receipts. They're going to want proof if they do an audit on your tax return. So this is just wild to me the longer I read this, because it really shows that Chef P does not know anything at all. She is just like headlights at this point. She just doesn't know. She's unaware. She just blatantly does not want to understand how any of this works, and instead just wants to say, you guys are the bad guys because I don't understand anything, and I just want money, and to keep spending it, and you're supposed to be my infinite piggy bank who just keeps giving me more cash. That is literally how she just comes off as. On top of that, I just want to say 1,400 hours at $90 per hour You know what? Let me check your TikTok, Chef Pete. Let me see how hard you've been working. So looking at her TikTok, this is where she announced that she signed with Dave's Gourmet. So from here on up, these are supposed to be all the hours that she's been working, making all these videos, just working hard. Now, as we go through this, I mean, does it look like she's really working that hard? Does it look like the pink sauce is going crazy? There's something that justifies the request that she's asking for 1,400 hours to make this content? Realistically, probably not, because I would think you'd be going a lot harder than just amount of videos in the time span of a year. I highly doubt that. But you know, it's just like I always say, we go to sleep at night and dream because that's what dreams are made for, because we don't want to face the reality, and she's definitely dreaming right now. The idea that she worked 1,400 hours at $90 per hour, I don't buy that. So if we want to get creative here, let's look at a little math problem. And you know what? I've been out of school for a hot minute, so maybe my math is wrong now. Highly doubt it. But let's say that she did her 1,400 hours that she claimed, and she did 40 hours a week. That is 35 weeks that she did where she worked 40 hours every single week for 35 weeks. And you know, let's just say it was straight, even though we know it wasn't, but let's just go with this. Now there's 52 weeks in a year. You're telling me for a majority of the year, she was working 40 plus hours working on pink sauce for social media content? No shot. Because that's what she's saying here. It was saying for her time dedicated to making social media content since October 2022. And so I'm being even more generous from what I showed you on her TikTok from when we started saying she made those videos. You're delusional. You're just trying to milk more money out of Dave's Gourmet after they've already given you so much money. And so just to make sure this video doesn't go extremely long, I'm just going to start going to the updates. I'll have this all linked in the description below if you want to read it yourself. But pretty much they gave their update, and this was from yesterday, so this is fresh off the press. But they were saying in consistent support of Shaw, they rooted in our desire for a successful partnership. Our primary objective through the partnership was to ensure the successful commercialization of pink sauce while upholding our company values and integrity, transparency, etc., etc. Unfortunately, despite Dave's Gourmet's continuous efforts to maintain a constructive relationship with Shaw, our efforts were met with recurrent challenges. In August 2023, they sent multiple messages to her and her attorney suggesting creative ways to mitigate the issues and have an amicable working relationship. In return, we received a message from Shaw that Dave's Gourmet would need to pay $1,500,000 if we want to continue selling pink sauce. The current agreement in place is evergreen, and Dave's Gourmet does not need any special extension payments, renewals, or permissions from Shaw to continue selling pink sauce under the terms of the agreement. So Shaw's request was odd and did not make any sense, aka she knew that she was so fucking broke that this was like a Hail Mary to try and get money out of him. On August 25th, Shaw notified Dave's Gourmet that she was being evicted from her apartment that weekend due to unpaid rent. Dave's Gourmet scheduled a call with Shaw and approximately for 2 hours discussed our proposal on how the relationship could work in the future. This proposal required Shaw to post the pink sauce related content on social media twice a week and included bi-weekly payments to Shaw to provide her with a stable level of income for a period of time. She agreed in principle with Dave's Gourmet proposal, but wanted her attorney to finalize details. Shaw didn't ask for assistance with her overdue rent. She got some nerve, dog. She got some fucking nerve asking that. Dave's Gourmet wanted to be helpful, but hesitated given the prior history with Shaw. Finally, y'all realizing that she blowing that money, dog. Dave's Gourmet preferred to wait until the new agreement with Shaw was fully in place before providing any help, but that was not possible over the weekend since Shaw's attorney would need to be involved and he was not available on the weekend. And by Monday, Shaw would have been evicted. In the spirit of future cooperation and creating goodwill with Shaw, Dave's Gourmet took another chance on Shaw and paid off her past rent, totaling $14,000. And with this additional payment, the total funds sent to Shaw equated $161,000. $449, and oh my god, and that weekend, and prevented her and her children from being evicted. Link to the confirmations. And so is this, oh shit, they actually provided all this. Hold on, we'll get into that in a second. Hey, sorry, this video's gonna go on for a hot minute. And so that backfired for Dave's Gourmet. I'm surprised you're giving the history. I'm sorry, man, y'all are stupid. Dave's Gourmet, y'all need to fire anybody who decided to be that charitable. I understand it's a family business, y'all want to be nice, but I'm sorry, but Chef P pulled the blinds over your eyes. She played y'all like a fool. I hope that y'all sue her and get your money back because you got played so bad. I'm like, part of me really wants to feel bad for them, but how could they not see the alarming lights? The fact that y'all gave that much money away and y'all just did this. And even though y'all were hesitant for this final payment, but y'all still did it anyway because y'all wanted to try and make sure y'all were on good ends. Y'all don't deserve this, and Chef P doesn't deserve your money. I'm now taking this personal as if I own the company. So as was mentioned earlier in the article, here is the actual proof. Dave's Gourmet dropped the receipts. They dropped the facts. This is from Dave's Gourmet themselves. You click on the link, it takes you literally right there. Boom. And this ain't no Photoshop. This isn't something I made up. This is all through them. And look at this. They got the facts right here, dog. This is insane. Amount $9,000. Amount minus $5,000. Who is this towards? Oh, this is a transfer to Shaw. Oh boy. Wow. So it really makes you wonder, what excuse could Chef P really have at this point? She can't. There's nothing else to say. Future Wasabi here. So I originally overlooked this part, and when I went back just looking over everything, I realized I wanted to add this part in as well too, which is actually pretty important. So it said right here, after hold up, give me a second, right here. So Dave's Gourmet has kept this timeline of information private until Shaw went to social media with defamatory statements regarding the integrity of our business, which has put us in an unfortunate position to share details that would have otherwise remained private. In total, Shaw has received $147,449.37 in payments from her partnership with Dave's Gourmet and Pink Sauce since August of 2022 to date. We initially told the journalist that she received more than $120,000 and now have tracked all the payments and are sharing a precise number with all the bank confirmations in this link, which you can find right here, which bangers, dog. They bring in the facts. They bring in the receipts, something that Chef P has never done. So yes, Dave's Gourmet is putting their money where their mouth is and saying, hey, we ain't full of shit. We're backing ourselves up. We did our due diligence. We are a reputable company, and Chef P is lying out the ass. And so the article finishes off by saying that Dave's Gourmet sent a legal draft of their proposed discussion with Shaw to her attorney, but Shaw indicated that her attorney would come back to us, but never did. In the meantime, they received another strange demand from Shaw for $250,000. And then she posted her recent video on social media with false accusations directed at Dave's Gourmet. None of them have any merit, and bear in mind, she posted this video shortly after Dave's Gourmet helped her and her children not get evicted, which is wild. Someone has given you their hand. They've opened it out. They say, hey, take our money. Keep taking our money. Just take it all. Time again. And you fuck them over. And you talk shit about them. And they're the nice people, and you're the bad guy in reality. You're the one who is just abusing. You're abusing Dave's Gourmet, and I can't stand for that. That is just disgusting. That is fucking deplorable and disgusting activity. I cannot believe this. Luckily, Dave's Gourmet did say that they received many messages from people encouraging them to sue Shaw for defamation. We're considering all options, including a lawsuit, but are also mindful of the distractions that it will cause for our organization and the difficulty of collecting any court-awarded damages from Shaw, given that she has spent all the funds, which is the unfortunate reality of this as well too. And then they just go about the GoFundMe. I can pause this, or you can pause the video and just go over this all yourself. But yeah, this is a wild situation. I did not know that it was this intricate. I'm glad that Dave's Gourmet posted this so that we can actually have a real understanding of this timeline, where all this money went, and pretty much how much of a lying scumbag that Chef P is. She's not even a chef. As someone else pointed out in the comments, she has no right to call herself a chef, because she's far from that. She's a liar. She is manipulative, and she just wants to take as much money as possible out of people with nothing in return of any form of work or anything in general. So yeah, anyways, I'm sorry that this video went so long, but I had to cover all this in depth and detail. There is no way that we could skip any of these paragraphs. They were all bangers after bangers, just bombshells, just all directed at Chef P, and we can't omit any of that information. You had to know about it. Anyways, you made this far into the video. I greatly appreciate it. Consider giving a like, subscribing to the channel, leave a comment below what you think. Have a great day. Yeah.